Tua Tagovailoa's contract extension eliminated what I thought was the favorite team to land Dak Prescott in next year's free agency. Obviously, I'm talking about the Miami Dolphins. I thought, you know what? Why are you going to pay Tua 50 plus million if you could get Dak Prescott for, let's say, another 8 to 10 million more per year? Dak can do more with his arm, Dak can do more with his legs. A way better fit in the Mike McDaniel offense. Whether it was Dak or somebody else, I think a lot of people could do what Tua has been able to pull off the last couple of seasons. Obviously, Chris Greer and company decided that Tua was their best bet moving forward. They locked him up. So let's look at some teams that could go after Prescott next year. I think Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense simply because Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, neither one of them are going to be the Steelers' long-term answer at quarterback. Prescott could be this. I'm not sure it's a great fit, but him and Arthur Smith, pretty good fit from just a simple X's and O's standpoint. Mike Tomlin and Prescott could get along. Not an awful fit here. Another obvious team to look at is the Raiders. The Raiders, a team that I'm really want to be high on. I love Antonio Pierce. He's what I think of when I think of the Raiders. The problem is their roster is just simply not going to cut it in the AFC this year. Antonio Pierce is going to be fighting for his life. The Raiders may not win a game before the halfway mark of the season. If you look at their schedule, tell me which one they're favored in. It's going to be rough. And I'm saying that as somebody who wants the Raiders to succeed. They wanted to go out and grab a quarterback, whether that was Michael Penix or Bo Nix. The problem was 6 quarterbacks won the top 12 selections of this year's draft. They really had no chance to get anybody unless they wanted to spend a mid-round draft pick on Spencer Rattler. Next year, if they don't want to go the draft with, or that be Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers, any of those guys, maybe they turn to Dak Prescott. The problem, Devontae Adams, I don't think will be on the roster by that point. He has an insane cap charge. He's probably going to be traded, if not after the season, midway through this season. So Dak Prescott, I'm not sure how attractive of a landing spot Las Vegas would be, but there is a clear need for the quarterback. A little bit of a sleeper here is the Rams. The Rams have a very good young core. Kobe Turner, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams. The offensive line is improving. You bring in Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. The Rams have a pretty good nucleus even with Aaron Donald retiring. Matthew Stafford, his contract is fixed for now. What if, for whatever reason, whether it's Stafford retiring, whether it's Stafford's injuries, whether it's Stafford just kind of regressing. He is getting up there in age and he has battled through a ton of injuries. The Rams want to tear up his contract. I'm not a contract salary cap expert. I'm not Mike Florio. However, I do think that this, if the Rams are able to, it is a possibility. The Rams were going to tear up his contract just a season ago, but they couldn't. They were unable to. The cap, they couldn't get rid of him. They were begging anybody to trade for him. The Jets, if the Aaron Rodgers trade fell through. What if a year removed from that, the Rams are like, all right, we're back in that situation. Let's go out and grab Dak Prescott. I think this is an interesting sleeper team. I don't love this one as much because I think Carolina has an outside shot to go from worst to first. Obviously, talking about going from worst place in their division to first place. What if Dave Canales gets canned after year one? What if Bryce Young gets moved on from Carolina? You know David Tepper's going to go out and spend the big bucks. Possibility. I'm just throwing it out there. When Derek Carr gets canned with Dennis Allen, the Saints, maybe they try and sign a quarterback. They've had success in the past signing a successful quarterback via free agency. Obviously talking about Drew Brees. I don't love this fit as much. I think the Saints really just need a restart. But same thing, possibility. And once again, not a salary cap expert. If you were to ask me how the Saints could have afforded a Dak Prescott contract, I would say there's no way they can. However, they end up finagling their way through the cap every single year with Mickey Loomis. Maybe they can do it again. We got the Seahawks, Geno Smith. Who knows? Maybe Mike McDonald isn't a fan of him or Sam Howell. They aren't going to be bad enough to pick in the top 10 and go out and grab one of those top quarterbacks. Maybe they choose to go out and sign a Dakota Prescott. It's a possibility. I would say out of all the teams I listed, the 3 that really stand out to me are the Steelers, the Raiders, and the Rams. Also, anybody in the NFC East, the Cowboys are still more than a strong chance of landing him. I think that the Tua deal really reinforced that. Because, yeah, you might be able to get some more money elsewhere, but guess what? All the brand deals that come with being the quarterback of America's team, those opportunities go away. A chance at landing in the top spot at one of the broadcast booths, that goes away. Like, there are some benefits of being the Cowboys quarterback that Dak Prescott I don't think is numb to. He is very aware of what he has going on for him. Maybe another team in the NFC East. Bill Belichick rumored to be really with any of those four NFC East teams. The Giants, they move on from Daniel Jones. Maybe he lands there. A lot of interesting, intriguing storylines. Dak Prescott, we're probably doing all this for nothing, and he's just going to wind up re-signing with the Cowboys 8 months from now. However, there are some intriguing options for him to look at come next March.